Hello everyone, I'm Sonu Agrawal. I'm a working professional in a Basin technology. Basin technology is to be provide the training on the real-time experience, and here is to provide the training on the most of the technologies. In this video, I'm going to be discuss about the JavaScript introduction, like what is JavaScript and what it is does, and how to be implemented into the pages and all, and what is the use of this, and like what are the functionalities to be work on that. So let's discuss first like what is JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language, okay, that allows implementing making pages in dynamic. JavaScript can be used in different way to achieve the implementation. So basically JavaScript like is to be based on the client side, and what are the implementation we are doing on the client side, that is to be taken care by the JavaScript to be give the more performance on the web pages and to make the site more dynamic. Now let's go to the things like what is JavaScript is content and what are the uses of that. Okay, so nowadays you can see like a JavaScript is used in the millions of the web application to improve the design. We take the forms, we take the browser, create the cookies, implement the complex things in the web page and the much more. So here the things is like web application to improve the design means like in the JavaScript using you can do the things like with the validated forms and designing what are going to be improved in that. So that will be using by the JavaScript. Detect a browser, get the cookies, so that will be more helpful with the JavaScript libraries and all, and whatever the functions has been defined in the JavaScript. The first is the most popular scripting language and works in the all major browsers such as Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Netscape, Opera, and the Chrome and the Safari also. So most of the browsers like having the same definition of the scripting JavaScript. So you just no need to be load anything extra from the software part or hardware part. It's just like it is contained in your browser itself only. So it is something like an engine which is already embedded with these browsers. What are the major browsers we have and what are the most frequently browsers we have, so that is already contained the JavaScript. So there is no such use of that you have to be do some extra things on that. So that browsers are already containing that. So now come to the what is JavaScript. So JavaScript was designed to add the interactivity to HTML pages. JavaScript is a scripting language, and scripting language is a lightweight programming language. So here we can say like whatever the code you will be writing, so that it is not going to be checked all the times with the server side, and whatever the things can be taken care at the client side and end user side, it will be taken care all the validation at once with the using with the HTML pages. Now JavaScript is usually embedded directly into the HTML pages. JavaScript is an interpreted language. Why we can say that it's interpreted language? Because whatever the compilation will happen in the other languages, it is to be vary, but in JavaScript it is like from always top to bottom. So like whatever the code has been written in the block, it will be always executed from the top to bottom. So that's what like we used to say, it's an interpreted language. Now come to the what is JavaScript doing on the pages. So the first thing is here browser security. Browser security, it's what says like whenever you're going to be open any site, you can see like it will be open the front tab, and if you're going to be open the same site in another tab, so there is something like it will be independent things. So one tab you're working something, second tab you're working something, that is not related to each other. So that is what like it is not going to be affect something which is already running in the first tab. So that's what is we can say like it's a browser security. JavaScript running order, as we discussed before that, like it whatever the code you have written in that block code, it is going to be run from the top to bottom. So there is a running order of the JavaScript. Interpreted versus compiled code. Interpreted is like whatever the JavaScript code we have written, it is going to be run from the top to bottom. So definitely it will be called as an interpreted language. Now server side versus the client side code. So JavaScript is mostly using for the client side, and there is a use on the server side as well. But the most of the things we used to be using the JavaScript is the client side, like the form validation, all this, like whatever the validation is to be performed and whatever the things can be taken care at the client side. So that will be implemented using the JavaScript. Now dynamic versus static code. Dynamic versus static code used to be discussed like whenever we're going to be implementing JavaScript, we'll be making the pages as a dynamic. So that is the only use we have to be like whatever the content you're going to be taking the site, so that will be developing and that will be changing based on the these are based on the inputs. So that is the only we have in the JavaScript using the dynamic. And static content, like there is no such dynamic code has been written, that whatever the content every time you'll be seeing the same on the sites. So that's all we have the introduction about the JavaScript. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks.